It was supposed to be an ordinary day at the Grand Vista Hotel, a place known for its luxurious decor, high-class service, and reputation as a premier destination for travelers from all walks of life. The lobby was a masterpiece in itself, gleaming marble floors, towering chandeliers that sparkled like diamonds, and polished wooden counters that seemed to glow under the warm lighting. Guests came and went, their voices a harmonious murmur, often greeted with smiles, handshakes, and impeccable hospitality. But today was different. When Maya Dawson walked into the lobby, the air seemed to change. Heads turned, but not in admiration or curiosity. Instead, there was a noticeable pause, a moment of silence that hung heavy, as though the space itself held its breath. Maya was no stranger to such moments. She felt the weight of judgment settle on her like an unwelcome coat, but she kept her head high, her steps steady. Maya's entrance was nothing short of graceful. She wore a casual yet stylish outfit, an elegant blazer paired with neatly tailored pants and a modest handbag slung over her shoulder. Her poise spoke of confidence, and her calm demeanor suggested a quiet strength. But none of this seemed to matter to the man standing behind the reception desk. Richard, the hotel manager, stood with his usual posture of authority. He was sharply dressed in a crisp navy blue suit, his tie perfectly knotted, and his shoes polished to a mirror shine. Everything about him screamed precision and control. Richard took pride in maintaining the Grand Vista's reputation as a place of exclusivity, catering to those he deemed worthy of its grandeur. The moment his eyes landed on Maya, his expression shifted subtly but unmistakably. His brows furrowed ever so slightly, his lips pressed into a thin line, and a faint sneer tugged at the corner of his mouth. To anyone watching, it might have looked like he was simply sizing up a new guest, but Maya knew better. She had seen that look before. It wasn't admiration or even curiosity. It was judgment. Richard didn't see a guest standing before him. He didn't notice Maya's confident stride or the way she carried herself with dignity. No, Richard saw something else, something that, in his narrow mind, didn't fit the image of the guests he believed deserved a place like the Grand Vista. To him, Maya didn't belong. Maya approached the counter, her reservation confirmation in hand. She offered a polite smile, one that didn't quite reach her eyes, as she slid the paper across the polished wooden surface. "Good afternoon," she said, her voice warm but firm. "I have a reservation for tonight. The name is Maya Dawson." Richard didn't respond immediately. Instead, he picked up the paper, glancing at it with an air of disinterest. His eyes flicked back to her, then down to the paper again, as if he were searching for some hidden flaw in the booking. The corners of his mouth curled into a faint smirk, a smile that wasn't really a smile at all. "I'm sorry, Miss Dawson," he said finally, his tone dripping with condescension. "But it seems there's been a mistake." Maya raised an eyebrow, her polite expression unwavering. "A mistake?" "Yes," Richard continued, setting the paper down with exaggerated care. "We're fully booked tonight. Unfortunately, we won't be able to accommodate you." Maya glanced around the lobby. It wasn't exactly bustling with activity. In fact, several staff members stood idly by, and behind Richard, the rows of room keys hung neatly on their hooks, many of them untouched. "Fully booked?" Maya repeated, her voice calm but questioning. "That's strange. I made this reservation weeks ago, and I even received a confirmation email yesterday." Richard's smirk deepened. He leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice as though sharing a secret. "Miss Dawson, perhaps this isn't the kind of place you're looking for." There it was. The unspoken judgment, now wrapped in thinly veiled words. Maya felt a familiar pang of frustration, but she refused to let it show. She met Richard's gaze evenly, her expression unreadable. "I see," she said simply, taking back her reservation confirmation. "Thank you for your time." And with that, she turned and walked away. To anyone watching, It might have seemed like Maya had given up, that she had accepted Richard's dismissal without a fight. But as she stepped out of the Grand Vista's grand revolving doors and into the crisp evening air, a small smile played at the corners of her lips. It wasn't a smile of defeat. It was the kind of smile that held a secret, a quiet confidence that hinted at something bigger brewing beneath the surface. Richard, on the other hand, felt a surge of satisfaction as he watched Maya leave. To him, this was just another moment of maintaining the Grand Vista standards. He returned to his duties, oblivious to the storm that was about to turn his world upside down. Maya walked to her car, opened the door, and sat behind the wheel. She placed the confirmation paper on the passenger seat, then pulled out her phone. With practiced ease, she began typing a message, her fingers moving with purpose. She wasn't angry, anger was fleeting, and it wasn't worth her energy. No, Maya was focused. This wasn't the first time she had faced this kind of treatment, and it likely wouldn't be the last. But this time, she wasn't going to let it slide. As she hit send, the faint smile returned. Richard might have thought he had won, but he didn't know who he was dealing with. For Maya wasn't just a traveler looking for a place to stay. She was a businesswoman, a visionary, and most importantly a woman who believed in turning obstacles into opportunities. This wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning. Maya's car hummed softly as she sat there, her mind already racing with ideas. She stared at the hotel's grand facade for a moment, her sharp eyes taking in every detail: the towering windows, the ornate signage, the pristine landscaping. It was clear that the Grand Vista prided itself on appearances. But Maya knew better than to be fooled by a shiny exterior. Beneath the surface of elegance often lay cracks, and she had every intention of finding them. She took a deep breath and leaned back in her seat, letting the day's events replay in her mind. This wasn't the first time someone like Richard had underestimated her. Over the years, Maya had faced countless moments of subtle and not so subtle discrimination. Each time, it stung. But each time, it also fueled her determination to prove people wrong, not just for herself, but for others who faced the same prejudice. Her phone buzzed on the dashboard, interrupting her thoughts. She glanced at the screen. It was a message from one of her business partners, Derek. "Derek, everything okay? Heard you were in town. Need anything?" Maya smiled faintly. Derek was one of the few people who truly understood her drive. He had been there when she started her first company, struggling to make her mark in an industry dominated by gatekeepers. If anyone would understand what she was about to do, it was him. She quickly typed back. "Maya, I'm fine. Just had a little incident at a hotel. But I might need your help soon. I'll explain later." Placing her phone down, Maya reached into her bag and pulled out a notebook. She always carried it with her, a habit she'd developed over the years to jot down ideas, plans, or anything that sparked inspiration. She flipped to a fresh page and began writing. The Grand Vista Plan. Maya's handwriting was neat and deliberate as she listed her thoughts. 1. Research the Grand Vista Hotel's ownership and financials. 2. Identify weaknesses in their operations. 3. Make an offer they can't refuse. As she wrote, her resolve grew stronger. Maya wasn't just reacting to Richard's behavior, she was planning something far bigger. This wasn't about revenge, it was about making a statement. Underscore 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 on. The next morning, Maya woke up early and headed to a cozy cafe in the city. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air as she settled into a corner booth with her laptop. She sipped her cappuccino thoughtfully as she began her research. The Grand Vista Hotel was part of a chain owned by a mid-sized hospitality group. A quick search revealed that the chain had been struggling financially over the past few years, largely due to outdated practices and a failure to adapt to modern customer expectations. Maya's eyes lit up as she scrolled through the company's recent earnings reports and industry reviews. "They're bleeding money," she murmured to herself, a hint of satisfaction in her tone. It didn't take long for her to uncover more details. Employee reviews painted a picture of a toxic work culture, with complaints about mismanagement, high turnover rates, and a lack of diversity. Maya wasn't surprised it all fit the narrative she had experienced firsthand. She made a few calls, reaching out to contacts in the hospitality industry. One of them, a former employee of the Grand Vista chain, provided valuable insights into the company's struggles. "They're desperate to sell underperforming properties," the contact said. "The Grand Vista in your town is one of them. The corporate office has been quietly looking for buyers." Maya's heart raced. This was the opening she needed. Underscore 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 on. Over the next week, Maya worked tirelessly. She put together a proposal that was both bold and strategic, leveraging her connections and resources to make a competitive offer for the Grand Vista Hotel. Her business acumen and reputation for turning struggling ventures into thriving enterprises gave her a significant edge. But Maya didn't just want to buy the hotel, she wanted to transform it. She envisioned a place that welcomed everyone, regardless of their background, a place where guests and employees alike felt valued. By the end of the week, Maya was ready. She sent her proposal to the corporate office and waited. It didn't take long for the response to come. The corporate team was intrigued by her offer, and after a series of negotiations, they agreed to a deal. Within days, the paperwork was signed, and Maya became the new owner of the Grand Vista Hotel. Underscore 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 on. On the morning of the big reveal, Maya returned to the hotel. This time, she didn't walk in as a guest. She walked in as the owner. The lobby was just as grand as she remembered, but now, it felt different. She noticed the details she hadn't paid attention to before: the strained expressions of the staff, the forced smiles, the hurried pace of employees trying to avoid Richard's scornful gaze. Richard was at the reception desk, his posture as rigid and self-assured as ever. He didn't notice Maya at first, too absorbed in berating a young bellhop for a minor mistake. "Excuse me," Maya said, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. Richard turned, his expression shifting from irritation to confusion. Then, recognition dawned on his face, followed by a flicker of annoyance. "You again," he said, his tone dismissive. "I thought we resolved this last time." Maya smiled, her composure unshaken. "Oh, we did. But I'm not here to book a room today." Before Richard could respond, Maya reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. She placed it on the counter and slid it toward him. "What's this?" he asked, frowning as he opened it. His eyes scanned the documents inside, and his face paled. "It's the ownership transfer," Maya said calmly. "As of this morning, I own the Grand Vista Hotel." Richard's jaw dropped. He stammered, trying to form a coherent response, but the words wouldn't come. The staff and guests nearby froze, their eyes darting between Maya and Richard. "You're joking," Richard finally managed, though his voice lacked conviction. Maya tilted her head slightly, her smile widening. "I assure you, I'm not. And as the new owner, I believe it's time for some changes around here, starting with you." Maya stepped through the gleaming glass doors of the Grand Vista Hotel, her heels clicking softly against the polished marble floor. The lobby was a picture of luxury: opulent chandeliers, intricately patterned carpets, and plush armchairs strategically placed to offer comfort without disrupting the grandeur of the space. The atmosphere was serene, save for the quiet murmurs of staff and guests scattered about. It was the kind of place designed to impress, to make every visitor feel like royalty. Yet, as Maya approached the front desk, the serenity seemed to shift. It wasn't loud or obvious, but there was a subtle change in the air. The receptionist, a young woman with a professional smile, glanced at Maya, then at the man standing beside her. Richard, the hotel manager, immediately stepped forward. His tailored suit, slicked back hair, and air of practiced authority were meant to project confidence. Maya smiled warmly, setting her reservation confirmation on the counter. "Good afternoon. I have a reservation under the name Maya Dawson." Her tone was polite, professional, just as one might expect from any guest checking in. But Richard's reaction was anything but ordinary. He barely glanced at the paper before letting out a low, curt laugh, one that made Maya's stomach tighten. His lips curled into a smirk as he leaned casually against the counter, looking at her as though she'd just made a mistake. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "But we're fully booked tonight." Maya blinked, caught off guard by the blatant dismissal. She glanced over her shoulder at the nearly empty lobby. Aside from a couple of guests leisurely sipping drinks by the bar and a bellhop idling near the elevators, the place was quiet, almost too quiet for a hotel supposedly at full capacity. "Fully booked?" she asked, her tone calm but questioning. "I made this reservation weeks ago. And I even received a confirmation email yesterday." Richard didn't even pretend to check the system. Instead, he straightened his posture slightly and gave her a smile that was anything but friendly. It was the kind of smile meant to intimidate, to remind her of her supposed place. "Yes, well," he said, waving a hand dismissively, "sometimes these things happen. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you." Maya felt the weight of the moment settle over her. This wasn't about a booking error. She could see it in his eyes, hear it in his tone. He wasn't just turning her away, he was making a statement. "Are you sure?" she pressed, her voice still even but firmer now. "Because I'm looking at those room keys behind you, and it seems like you have plenty of vacancies." Richard's smirk widened. He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice as if to share a secret only they could hear. "Miss Dawson," he said smoothly, "I don't think this is the kind of place you're looking for." The words hung in the air like a slap. They weren't loud or aggressive, but their meaning was clear. Maya felt a familiar sting, a mixture of frustration, disbelief, and something deeper, something she couldn't quite name. For a moment, she considered responding, calling out the unspoken prejudice laced in his words. But years of experience had taught her the futility of confronting people like Richard in moments like this. They thrived on conflict, on the belief that their actions would go unchallenged. Instead, Maya took a deep breath and forced herself to remain calm. She reached for her reservation confirmation, her movements slow and deliberate, as if she were taking back far more than a piece of paper. "Thank you for your time," she said, her voice cool and measured. Then she turned on her heel and walked toward the exit, her steps steady, her head held high. To anyone watching, it might have seemed like Maya had conceded, like she had accepted Richard's dismissal without a fight. But as she pushed open the grand revolving doors and stepped into the cool evening air, a small smile played on her lips, a smile that didn't match the sting of rejection she had just endured. Richard thought he had won. He thought this was the end of the story. But he couldn't have been more wrong. Underscore 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 on. Outside, Maya paused for a moment, letting the city's sounds wash over her, the distant hum of traffic, the occasional chatter of pedestrians, the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze. She clenched the confirmation paper in her hand, her mind racing. She wasn't angry, at least not in the way Richard might have expected. Anger was fleeting, impulsive. Maya's feelings were deeper, more calculated. This wasn't just about her reservation being denied, it was about something far bigger. Maya walked to her car parked across the street, slid into the driver's seat, and closed the door. She sat there for a moment, the leather seat cool against her back, the engine silent. Then, she pulled out her phone and began typing a message. The recipient was Derek, one of her closest friends and business partners. Derek had always been the first person she called when she needed advice or support. He was sharp, resourceful, and, most importantly, someone who understood the world. Maya operated in a world where obstacles were not just challenges but opportunities in disguise. Maya had an interesting encounter at the Grand Vista Hotel. Denied my reservation. Pretty sure it wasn't a mistake. Need to talk. Call me when you can. She hit send and placed the phone on the passenger seat. Then, she opened her bag and pulled out her notebook. The notebook was a worn but treasured item, its pages filled with ideas, plans, and reflections from years of navigating her career. Maya flipped to a blank page, clicked her pen, and wrote at the top. Underneath, she began jotting down notes. Research Grand Vista ownership and finances. Investigate management practices. Develop a proposal to acquire the property. Maya's pen moved with purpose, her thoughts flowing faster than she could write. The hurt she had felt moments ago had transformed into determination. Richard's dismissal wasn't going to define this moment. If anything, it was going to fuel her next move. Underscore 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 on. Meanwhile, back inside the hotel, Richard leaned against the counter, his smirk lingering as he watched Maya leave. He turned to the receptionist, a young woman who had been silently observing the exchange. People like her don't understand places like this, he said, his tone smug. We have a certain standard to maintain. The receptionist didn't respond. She simply nodded and turned back to her computer, her expression carefully neutral. Richard went about his day, completely unaware of the storm brewing just outside the doors of his pristine lobby. To him, this was just another routine encounter, a small moment of power he could wield without consequence. But Richard had made a grave mistake. He had underestimated Maya, her resolve, her intelligence, and, most importantly, her ability to turn the tables in ways he could never predict. This wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. Maya's determination carried her home that evening, her mind buzzing with ideas. She didn't waste a single moment. After making herself a cup of tea, she opened her laptop and began searching for everything she could find about the Grand Vista Hotel. If Richard thought he could brush her aside, he had underestimated the wrong person. The first thing Maya found was the official website of the Grand Vista chain. It boasted luxury accommodations, 5-star service, and glowing testimonials from guests. But Maya wasn't interested in the polished marketing language. She wanted to see what was beneath the surface. A quick search led her to online reviews from former employees and customers. As she read, a clearer picture began to form. Management here is toxic. They only care about appearances and couldn't care less about the staff. I was denied a reservation despite having a confirmation. It felt personal, and I'll never stay here again. The GM is a nightmare to work with, rude, dismissive, and completely unprofessional. The reviews painted a grim story. Maya's lips pressed into a thin line as she took notes. Each comment fueled her resolve. She wasn't just going to challenge the system, she was going to dismantle it and rebuild it into something better. Her phone buzzed beside her. It was Derek, finally responding to her earlier message. Maya, what happened? Derek's voice was steady but filled with curiosity. She quickly recounted the encounter with Richard, keeping her tone matter of fact. Derek let out a low whistle when she finished. "So, what's the plan?" he asked. Maya leaned back in her chair, her pen tapping against the table. "I'm going to buy it." Derek burst into laughter. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," Maya replied, her voice calm and resolute. "The place has potential, but it's rotting from the top down. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for everyone who's been treated like they don't belong." Derek's laughter faded, replaced by admiration. "All right. What do you need from me?" Maya smiled. Derek never hesitated to back her up when she had a vision. "I'll need help digging into their financials. The company's public, but I want to know the dirt, their weak points, their vulnerabilities. And I'll need connections to a few investors who'd be interested in helping me make an offer." "Consider it done," Derek said without hesitation. Underscore 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 on. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Maya split her time between meetings, phone calls, and late nights researching. She learned that the Grand Vista chain was owned by a mid-sized hospitality group struggling to stay afloat. Their properties were outdated, their customer base shrinking, and their management practices criticized for being stuck in the past. Even more interesting was the fact that the Grand Vista location in her city was one of their underperforming assets. The hotel wasn't just a source of pride for Richard, it was a financial liability for the parent company. Maya's excitement grew as she pieced everything together. She saw the flaws in their operations, the opportunities to turn things around, and the immense potential to create a space that welcomed everyone. Underscore 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 on. On the morning of her scheduled meeting with the parent company, Maya dressed sharply in a tailored navy blue suit that exuded authority. She arrived at their corporate office with a portfolio in hand, containing her proposal and a detailed plan to transform the Grand Vista Hotel into a thriving, inclusive destination. The boardroom was filled with executives, their faces a mix of curiosity and skepticism as Maya presented her vision. She spoke confidently, outlining her plan to modernize the property, improve guest experiences, and foster a positive workplace culture. "Your hotel isn't just losing money," Maya said, her tone steady but firm. "It's losing trust. Guests and employees alike are turning away because they don't feel valued. I can change that." She ended her presentation with a bold offer, a competitive bid for the Grand Vista property that the company couldn't afford to ignore. The executives exchanged glances, their interest piqued. Maya knew she had their attention. Underscore 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 on. A week later, Maya received the call she had been waiting for. The deal was approved. She was now the proud owner of the Grand Vista Hotel. But Maya didn't celebrate immediately. She knew the real work was just beginning. Underscore 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 on. The day Maya officially took control of the hotel, she returned to the property, her steps deliberate as she entered the lobby. Richard was at the front desk, his usual smirk firmly in place as he chatted with a guest. He didn't notice her at first, too absorbed in his conversation. But when he finally looked up, his expression shifted. Confusion flickered in his eyes as he saw Maya, her demeanor more commanding than the last time they'd met. "Miss Dawson," Richard said, his tone laced with sarcasm. "Back again?" Let me guess you're here to try your luck with a reservation. Maya smiled faintly, her calm gaze holding his. Not exactly. She stepped forward and placed a folder on the counter. These are the transfer documents. As of today, I own the Grand Vista Hotel. The color drained from Richard's face as he opened the folder and scanned the papers. His hands trembled slightly, and for the first time, his usual arrogance faltered. You're joking, he stammered. Maya's smile widened. I assure you, I'm not. And as the new owner, I'll be implementing some changes around here starting with the management. Richard's jaw dropped, his confidence crumbling as he realized the magnitude of what had just happened. The staff nearby froze, their eyes darting between Maya and Richard. For far too long, Maya continued, her voice steady, this hotel has operated on outdated values that have no place in today's world. That ends now.